Lift Dark After Dark.
Does. Sounds like what's her name?
This one's called Sexy Time.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Can I get that on a...
Welcome back to Lift Dark After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. This week we've got a super saucy episode for you.
How long does that track last for? Is that the full
I'll
thing?
let go on time.
Can I have that
2 more
on,
minutes.
like, one of those stable buttons? So when it's sexy time at home, I can be like,
Your pants just come off.
oh yeah. Well, all of my, I don't know if you guys know this, all of my pants are rip-away pants.
Oh.
We were just talking, you and B at the brewery the other day about how your recent acquisition of snap up the side rip off pants.
Yeah, they're actually
You get an erection and the buttons just start...
yeah. If I get
It stretches so hard.
I'm so glad I started recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, well, that's right. We're going.
that plus a good,
No one's safe.
After dark, yeah.
You make a bad groove. Lift up, after dark, yeah. It's the ultimate move. Get real, get loud. Lift up, after dark, yeah.
that plus a good gust of wind. I am pantless.
You really don't need excuse, is the point.
Yeah. I like starting the episode with Sexy Time. I know you have like I'm going to air quote professional intros on here because they're all AI generated, but yeah.
Sexy Time is just good old stock footage.
Guys, we just talked about my pants.
We hear the buttons.
Well, no, he's not wearing them today. We're
Wow.
in trouble. They're just going to get really tight.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lift Dark After Dark podcast. This is episode 4? Question mark?
Yeah.
It's January 10th, 2025, and we got the whole dang-gum crew here.
The whole dang crew.
That's right. We got
We got the W's.
Will and Walker, which is funny because Walker, I grew up saying Will and Walker because your brother's name is Will, and now you guys are in an office, and I still say Will and Walker.
Yep.
You're gonna dox him right now?
Huh?
You're gonna dox him?
Can I ask what doxing means?
Doxing means that step 1, dox. Step 3, the SWAT team ends up at your house. I don't really know what happens in between.
No, that's swatting. Doxing is providing and publishing of not easily available identity information to the public.
But even like address, like that's what happened to like if you get swatted, it's because you got doxed.
Yes, exactly.
But I'll
What's
do,
your address?
I'll dox you later in the show when I give everyone your personal cell phone number
That's fine.
and ask them all to call you
Please.
whenever in the middle of their sexy time.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll actually help me get my sexy time started.
This was some of my favorite moments in like Viva La Bam, where they would just like Bam would just buy a billboard and put his friend's cell phone number on a giant billboard in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Well, I put all of your phone numbers in every porta potty at every music festival I've ever been to.
And it just says call for a fun time.
No, it just says call for your metalwork needs.
Oh, it's just advertising.
High quality design and fabrication work. Look no further.
A viral campaign.
It's a shotgun method.
Well, you know what? That's a clever pivot. We want people to associate Lift Dark Studios brand image with porta potty.
Yeah.
We are the shit.
Do I smell a new campaign? It stinks.
I'm going to at least 3 music festivals this year. I'm writing that in at least everyone.
I always wanted to get
Smells like good value.
I always want to get one of my friends' phone numbers as my license plate and drive around like a complete asshole with a little sticker that says
you
"Call
could.
me."
It's seven
Yeah.
characters.
That's very funny.
And the frame says call me.
Ooh, but what about the first 3?
Yeah,
Digits,
well, this
you
is
know?
Well, you'd have to just assume it's local.
Ooh,
That's fair.
question: have you guys or has anybody you known? There's the semi trucks that have like the
call me, how's my driving
Yes.
thing? Yeah.
Has anybody you've ever known done that? Actually,
B and I just talked about this, and we really wanted to call because the guy in front of us was doing a great job, and we're like, I bet that this number is only for complaints. Just call and be like, hey, thanks for using your turn signal. Thanks for letting me merge. That type of thing.
oh, that's
But to answer your question, no.
You haven't called. I haven't called.
Yeah, it's called.
What a horrible thing to have on the back of your
Yeah, I know.
No one in our generation is going to call that number.
No.
You know, I did get a call one time. I was driving the Isuzu through downtown, and I must have just gone to the dump and like forgot a tiny piece of trash, and it like flew out of the truck, I guess. And so I get a random phone call. Keep in mind, the number's not on the thing, and at the time we didn't have like a Google Voice phone number. It was just my personal cell phone number on the website and on my email signature and everything. So I get a call from this like irate woman, and she's like, yes, I was behind one of your drivers on Campbell, and there's some trash was blowing out of the truck, and we live here. This is our community. Just like the most self-righteous thing. And I don't even remember what I did, but I was like, yeah, that was me. You know, shit happens.
Sorry,
but
Yeah, I'll help an old lady cross the street. You know, like I'll pay off the karmic debt, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. A few years ago, I literally pushed a dude in a wheelchair through the snow for like a block and a half.
Yeah, but you pushed
You
him
didn't get a
away
call
from
for
his
that.
home.
Yeah. Where do you want to go? Tough shit.
Yeah, but you really
warm.
screwed that guy over. He was stuck.
Yeah, and I guess I've been like really leaning on that karmic positivity for a while. Well's probably dry.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is it's going to snow tonight, so that way you go find some people in wheelchairs and push them around.
That guy is still there.
Go find some people in wheelchairs and push them around.
Just make sure you ask where they want to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know,
I was on the on-ramp to 581 one time, and there was a car in front of me, and the passenger window comes down, and like a bit of fast food stuff comes out. And I'm like, well, that's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
And then it's just like this person, we're stuck in traffic. This person is just clearing all the trash out of their car.
Nice. The semi-annual, throw it out the window.
It wasn't an Isuzu, was it?
Wasn't I just?
And so, like, you know,
So I have a number you can call.
I just opened the rear gate.
there's a line between like shit happens. You know, sometimes stuff flies out of trucks if you don't mean it to.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and just flagrant littering. And so I put my horn down, just being like, dude, just stop. He would not stop.
That's
and
the
then
beginning of
started getting really mad. And again, it's slow traffic. We're trying to get on a 581 over there by Elm, which is always a nightmare.
Yeah.
This guy gets tired of me honking at him for throwing trash out of his car.
Yeah.
Jets like out of the merging lane into 581 and tries to take off. And it's the one time karma has ever been like perfect. A cop was just right there, like, whoop, whoop.
Yes.
You know
nice.
you know what would be the perfect circle of life is that he ends up on the prison group that has to go clean up the highway trash.
Yeah.
And it's his trash. Yeah.
God damn it.
It's his 2 Big Mac wrappers. And
Yeah.
he's like, I wonder why I was so chemically imbalanced.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in reality, he could have had to, rather than paying a fine, community service.
Yeah.
Could have had to go pick it up. Never
fair.
again will he litter. So.
No.
No, he will.
No, he's
He's
gonna
for
litter,
sure
yeah.
gonna litter.
He's human litter.
He'll think about me being like, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy is the reason I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Good thing your number was on the back of your car.
Yeah, 1-800-GET-ME-FIRED.
1-800 bring it.
Yeah.
Did we introduce this half of the table?
So anyways, at Lift Art Studios, we do metal work.
Yeah, we're some metal workers and designers and editors that work together in a small little business here in Roanoke.
But we still like to have fun.
God, we are funny, huh?
And we don't litter.
Aren't we fun to listen to?
Except
Don't
for 1/4
litter,
of
No,
us.
all of my waste streams make it exactly where they're supposed to make it.
Except for that one time.
Yeah.
When
Except
a lady called.
Whose side are you on?
Well,
Oh, that one time.
yeah.
the earth side.
Yeah.
We only have one town, one opportunity.
Yeah.
One-
Look,
Mom spaghetti.
we're all in this together.
and isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
And boy, I wish we weren't.
And
It is
man,
cold right now.
feeling like we're together. This is, you're so much bigger than I am, and you and Spike are pretty elbow to elbow over there.
Yeah, but I've known this dude for like
Yeah.
a decade.
I like.
Yeah.
We met
It is
digging
nice and
bricks
cozy.
out of the side of a mountain.
Keep your
covered
eyes
in
above
mud.
the table right now. Yeah. there's some underneath happening.
here, big boy.
Exactly why we have that button, and it's pink.
That's nice. But did you assign the color?
Yeah.
That's my trigger color.
Turn the forge on and get that metal in there. Let's make it hot and soft.
When Victoria's Secret came out with that whole pink label, I was out of it.
You got banned from the mall.
Yeah.
For just window shopping.
I just saw people walk by with the word pink. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I feel like dudes in Victoria's Secrets that are accompanying their partners always have the same expression on their face. It's always just the looking in the distance, like
just avert your eyes, Well, and
I don't know.
I have the thought that, like, thank God I'm here. Like, I have an alibi, because if I was in here alone, it'd be way worse.
I'm shopping for my mom.
Yeah.
Not any better.
She's that woman over there. She loves me, and I love her, and we have relations, and that's why we're here.
Don't ask her.
And it's weird because you are a little bit excited if you're in Victoria's Secret because you're like, oh man, you know what's coming later, sexy time.
Yeah.
But also you're, at least for, I don't say 75% of the time, you're standing there by yourself while someone tries something on. And you're like, I'll just be over the skateboard
Well, and
place.
guys don't really care. I don't care.
Well, and sometimes the feeling of I shouldn't be here, but I am is like neat. But there's also times where it's like really fucking not.
That's how people get, like, banned from being close to a school.
Before I say my next thought, what kind of podcast are we doing?
Oh,
Yeah, this is a fabrication and design podcast.
Yep.
We're 10 minutes in, and boy, I think we just
We've covered a lot.
I think we just miss hanging out.
Yeah. That's
Well, we've
fair.
been busy.
Well, and I have
Very
some
busy.
notes. You know, that it's.
on how busy we
I have some things I'd like to say.
Uh-oh.
This is an intervention.
If you're watching the video, Will has done some really neat Christmas lighting.
Yeah, place looks great.
Just in time for the holiday.
non-denominational holiday lighting. Holiday of your choosing. There's some more things around. We got this. I guess we could start here. It's actually the first thing on my list. Spike and I have been working to put our robot friend out there to work, the plasma table, and create some plasma cut goods. I'm holding in my hand a neat little, like, 6-inch plasma cut bottle opener. Kind of cool. I spent a little bit of time cleaning it up the other day.
And if your initials are LAS, it's perfect for you.
Yeah, Lewis Arthur Summerland.
That's the...
You know,
There's one guy out there freaking out.
And if your name is Lewis Arthur Summerland, email us. We'll send you one for free.
100%.
Send us... We need
Photo
certification.
ID.
and
Yeah.
also don't sue us for taking your.
You just have very good initials.
Yeah,
I really hope he's not a recovering alcoholic.
And we just doxed him.
here's a bottle opener. But it opens a discussion into what it takes to bring products to market. You and I have, throughout the last 3 years, with you and when Aaron was around, you know, we all have, I think, a unique eye for design and varying levels of experience with retail and selling and marketing and shipping and logistics and everything it takes to go from idea to product that someone can add to cart. And I've struggled with it a lot, actually, partly because of perfectionism, you know, and failure to launch, because it's like, well, if I want to do it, then we want to do it this way.
Right.
And not all that's come from me. I think we've all had like those moments where it's like, but we should wait until it's this, or we should refine it until it's that.
Right.
And, you know, with our flat pack fire pits, our bigger geometric fire pits, or other small goods, I, for one, I sort of wander in between do it perfect and just get it out, you know, because I've experienced the perils and the benefits of both. And I try so often to land somewhere in the middle, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Like you're good enough to be better than other people's good enough, but you also can't, there's no money in the pursuit of perfection.
Yeah. Well, that touches on like a phrase I probably didn't come up with, but that I ask myself all the time, and is, when is good enough actually good?
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
And because in the video world, similarly to making something, you could technically work on something forever.
100%.
So finding that cutoff point of good enough to go out the door, but actually good.
Yeah. Well, and when you're so close to it for so long, it's shocking the amount of parallels that exist between video production and metalwork. Mm-hmm. Probably many other things too. Any pursuit that takes a lot of your own personal interjection follows a similar path, which is like, I'm excited, I want to do it. Okay, we're doing it. Is it going? A little reflection along the way, and then you get to a point where you're either like, your expectations have either been met or exceeded or not satisfied, and you're like, do I love it or do I actually hate it? I don't know how to feel about it. I need to walk away from it. I want to quit. All these ups. Like Spike, you're starting your like board game design sort of career.
Yeah.
I've started this company, Walker and Will. You guys have been freelance and created things for a long time in the media world. So it's like, it's different for everyone. And like Spike and I were talking about something this morning. Like the problem is you have to decide that for yourself. No one else will decide it for you. No one else is going to go, hey buddy, people are going to love that. You should stop working on it because it's perfect.
Stop lying to me.
Yeah, I was.
I do think it is important to have, this is always why it's important to have more than one set of eyes on something too, is because, the things that you see that might be flaws in metal, same with video or whatever else, it's entirely possible no one else is going to see.
And most of the time that's true.
Yeah, and it has to do with being kind of an expert in something because, again, you understand how far something can go, the levels to which you can refine it or make it perfect. I learned a really good lesson from you. I'm on the art side of things. So when we were doing those kind of hand stamped keychains, it checked all these boxes like, oh, we're not throwing scrap away. We're using, repurposing stuff. We're doing this stuff by hand. There's no cost in the actual materials, but you're like, yeah, dog, but how about the time that goes into that?
There's a lot of cost in things.
And again, hand stamping things was a very cool thing. Not a very quick thing though. And
well, you were still, you weren't jaded.
Well, that's a lesson that I've been learning for the past year and change that I've been here is like how long things just take.
Yeah.
And that surprised me. Like even when I've made stuff before with my own hands, and it's just a different world when you're doing it for yourself versus professionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Like especially because I can't speak to y'all, but I know that you and I are perfectionists.
Oh yeah.
Like we can chase it and chase it and chase it. In the professional world, you have to decide, okay, this is done. How much time can I spend? How much time is worth spending?
Yeah.
And then is the outside world going to accept that?
Yeah.
Or even care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some sort of like mental equation that goes on between like effort versus payoff.
Yeah.
Boy. What a great formula.
Each of our, realms to where, figuring out on the front end of is the payout worth the effort is nearly impossible without experience.
Right. And even with a lot of experience, you get it wrong. This business has taught me that there is a time and place to contextualize the expectation, like to adjust. Better way to say it would be to adjust your performance or output based on context. Like these aluminum gates that I welded together for Jim. I've done lots of aluminum projects for him, and these are mostly like home architectural stuff that he's having me make out of leftover material that he uses in his business. So because I know it's not this, I know what it is, and I know how Jim is, I was able to, I was learning to MIG weld aluminum, so I was also using his project as like a training ground and a chance to show off that HTP 2800 that we got. But
Thanks, HTP.
Shout out HTP.
Pulse MIG welding aluminum, pretty cool. But it was like, aluminum's tricky because it's very clean and welding makes a mess. So how far do you want to clean it? Take every weld to all the way into the nooks and crannies and like approach it like, no, it's a yard gate.
Right.
But again, I was very proud of what I built. I was happy that I learned a new process doing it. I didn't charge him for the time learning. I charged him for less hours than I technically spent on it. which I do a lot here. I don't feel like you can really charge someone to learn for the time it takes to learn something that you're advertising that you can do for them. Right. But so anyway, it was fine, and he saw it, and he was like, "Dude, you're a rock star. It's awesome. I didn't expect you to do this, this, and this." And it was like still over delivered. Right. But in my mind, I held back.
Well, that we've talked a lot about on projects, coming up with like tiers of what level of finish we want to do on a project, and we've never really gotten there because every project's like, well, this is the use for it, and this is who it's for, and this is how much it was, and there's all these different things. It's where a lot of times it comes down to, hey, do you like this? Yeah, I like that. Can you see this? Yeah, I can see it. Is that a problem?
Yeah.
Well, and another thing that I think that this is common. We were talking about this the other day about people who make things. Again, video, metalwork, art, whatever. And most people don't know how to do it. And so they don't understand the part of what they're paying for is your expertise, is your ability to have that critical eye that most other people wouldn't have. And again, get something, whether it's structurally to a point or visually to a point, that accomplishes what they wanted. And I think that, lots of times, when I'm freelancing and someone goes, I'll give them my day rate for a corporate thing. They're like, I could buy a camera for that. I'm like, yeah, but you could, but I already have the camera and I have 20 years experience. So if you can buy that, that's why this costs that much. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think Jim's great because he,
well, Jim builds things that are really high end.
Exactly.
So,
and
like,
he knows,
gets it.
Yeah, he knows what you do and
but
how
he's not a
works.
welder. So he's like,
And, I wouldn't say that they're few and far between, but people like him are really would make doing this stuff worthwhile.
They're pretty rare.
Yeah. You feel good about what you did. You did something, again, that's not perfect in your mind, but again, somebody loves, which is the best case scenario.
But I was still proud of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I still had to get it to a point that I was at least proud of.
Because
otherwise,
put your name on it.
Yeah. Well, and we spent a lot of time in one of the last episodes talking about like our process and production, and it's just always a through line. I don't know. I guess it feels really relevant based on some stuff we've been working on lately. But, and the next project I wrote down to talk about is a perfect example of like set them up, knock them down. Just there's so many examples of this. So we were contracted to build several hundred feet of traditional metal handrail for the house at the southern point of Smith Mountain Lake here in Southwest Virginia. And it was, when I say traditional handrail, like picture a metal handrail, that's exactly what it looks like. Like profiled cap rail, square pickets, horizontal up top, a horizontal on the bottom, and then posts in between the panels so that the posts stick up a little bit. They have a little cap on, so you have this little not Great Wall of China thing, but I'm doing that shape with my finger, like a straight and then an up and then a straight and then an up.
Boy,
it's like a oscilloscope, but spaced differently.
I'm thinking of like a game in which you have to draw something that somebody else described.
Dictionary.
Tay's just like, all right, do an up and then over and then a down and then over.
Listen, you don't want to be in my head. But it was a utility job. It wasn't, we're still going to build it. We're going to use our methods as we would with any job, but there's no real need for artistic expression. It's really, there's a retaining wall. We need a gate on top of this retaining wall as it wanders down and around the driveway and the sidewalk. So make it fit, make it work and make it fit. And we did it to where it comes apart like always, so we can get it powder coated by Lucas at Powder Coating Creations.
Well, that's the difference between that type of job and other ones, like let's say like a sign that we've done.
Yeah.
Is that sign or that railing has no space for artistic
In fact, voluntary inclusion of artistic expression is unwanted.
Yeah. And so the question there is like, all right, are we hitting the right details?
Yeah.
And does it look clean?
Yeah. Right.
Well, and I think this is why people hire you guys to do that a lot. You talk to a chef about like what's the best way to learn how to cook, or what's the best measure by which to judge a chef, and like an egg. Like they're cheap and eggs are easy to make, really hard to do right.
Or like in a way that like leaves you going,
Yeah, it makes you,
whoa.
whoa, I've never
Yeah.
had an egg like that. And I think that's the deal about this kind of like, line them up, knock them down
It's your
jobs for you
egg.
guys is the design has nothing to do with us. It's standard and whatever, but it is done to perfection. And
Well,
in a way
close
that
enough,
like, close enough. But done in a way that like even a standard thing that you've seen 100 times, you're like, well, that's pretty stout. And that's like, there's the lift arc difference, I guess.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Lift arc
Lift arc
difference.
And this is something that no one's ever going to touch.
Yeah.
It goes around a driveway. It goes on the left side of a really wide walkway that you know it's not steep. You're not going to be grabbing this thing, but like it's literally just accoutrement.
Yeah, but it is a lot like that bottle opener, though. They're never going to have to replace it.
Oh yeah,
And I think that's one of the, again, we've talked about this at nausea, but like things of value and that last are worth paying for. And I think it's,
to
even if-
some.
some.
Yeah.
But I think even if it's just standard, like, driveway railing, do it once and do it right and do it nice.
Well, that's
So-
the pitch. If someone balks at price, it's you hope they understand that, but I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. I don't want to convince you of something that you don't believe in.
So there's actually an interesting kind of like economic rule set of, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Boots theory of economics.
Talking about Terry Pratchett's
Yes.
thing about boots. Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, educate us.
Yeah. It basically boils down to there's a laborer who doesn't make as much money. He needs a new pair of boots so he can continue to work. His paycheck only allows him to buy a $10 pair of boots, while somebody who's wealthy, who may not need the boots as much, can buy a $50 pair of boots. So the laborer who's putting more wear and tear on them is buying cheaper boots that wear out faster, that he'll spend more money on over time. Meanwhile, this wealthier person is going to have boots that last him his lifetime.
Yep.
So it's
Because A, he can afford nice ones, and B, he's not really using them.
Well, it's more about he's buying a higher quality of boots that are going to last longer.
Yeah.
So a $50 pair of boots will last, let's say, a year, where a $10 pair of boots will last a month.
yeah. So you're spending more over time
Right.
on a cheaper pair of boots.
And use case is irrelevant in this example?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more about
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
But
'Cause
it's
the
like
way
a-
it was
yeah.
told, it
Sorry,
feels very relevant.
it's more about commentary on poverty and
Well,
how
and
it really
and buying from a place of
approach
scarcity.
it
Yeah.
in our
And-
society.
And we're talking about Terry Pratchett of Discworld, not an economist, right?
Yes.
The author, yes.
Yeah.
Just make
Yeah.
sure.
Well, and some people can only afford $10 boots or
Right.
the $150 aluminum prefabricated railings from the big box store. you know?
Right, but
Yeah.
that's also where, you guys kind of
Well, and that's where I'm like, that's fine. I don't take it personally. The fact that you're comparing me to this is expected, but also I don't need to change your mind. I'm not going to compete. If money's your first thing, I'm not even interested in competing or closing the sale. I've met salespeople from past jobs that would do anything to close the sale, including cut us down at our kneecap us and remove any possibility for profit just in the interest of closing that sale. And I'm like, well, what's the point? Yeah.
Well, the problem there is that if we were to do that, we would also have to cut corners on our detailing, which is what we pride ourselves on.
Yeah.
And it's not like
Which is still probably, I've been doing it for so long that I probably wouldn't anyway. I'd still do the thing. And then, not to cut you off, but the problem there is that then this person has seen you deliver this amazing product for really cheap.
Right.
And they're going to be like, hey, go to these guys for amazing rails. It was super cheap.
Yeah.
And then you're known, if you're not careful, if you let it snowball, then you become known as the person that does it really good and really cheap, which is not good.
So that's actually a trend in the creative world too. Is I've noticed that there is a pattern, almost an industry path, right? So you enter any creative field. Who are your first clients? Friends and family.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're not going to charge them
Right.
an insane amount. Then they turn around to their friends or extended family or whatever and say, hey, my buddy, my brother can do this. And guess what? you only charged me X dollars
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
that's your family not doing you any favors there. Yeah, that's a tough spot.
But also,
but it's true.
Yeah, you can't then be like, oh yeah, I only charged them like $50 for this, but normally it'd be like 500.
Yeah.
Well, there's that old adage about like, if your friend opens a bar, nobody drinks for free for 2 years or whatever. And I think with, especially when you are looking at valuing what you do and your time, the best thing I did 15 years ago was raise my rates, because I was struggling every project. I was getting a lot of work, but they weren't paying anything because my rates were so.
Yeah.
So I figured out where my rates needed to be so that I could enjoy doing the projects. I could get paid what I needed to. And again, what it did is it filtered out a lot of the like kind of bad clients who would nickel and dime everything to death and take up more time actually than the clients who paid more.
Yeah.
And knowing the value of your work, and again, not compromising on it, is it's a necessary and also survival thing for any kind of small business.
It's also a gamble because
Also hard,
you may have to say no to things when you are the most desperate.
Yeah.
When you need the work the most, you might still have to be like, well, maybe I pull a little more from a line of credit or something. It's like, just hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Feast or
tough one.
famine.
And everybody has a different risk tolerance, like some people will just chase consistency forever, and then you blink and then you've been the railing guy for 40 years of your life because you just said yes and you kept saying yes, and you're like, well, I guess that's what I do now. There's a certain amount of that I've done, some call it settling or whatever, but the paycheck's good,
Yeah.
Well, so to kind of cross parallels again between our industries, what is the last thing that you made purely for the heck of it? Because
I think yesterday was one for the first time in a while. Spike and I, again, to go back to my first topic, have been trying to do some fun plasma cut and then worked metal items. And I'm looking right out the front door of the Magnavan at a cylindrical fire pit that was all flat, and we used our slip roller and a welder and made this really cool, like semi-conical designed cylindrical fire pit. And that wasn't for anybody. That was just like, I know what's out there. I know what we can do. We just want to do it. And honestly, I had a lot of fun in the shop yesterday.
It was a prototype to prove that we could make that thing.
That shape. Yeah, we could take flat metal, cut a certain way, and with the tools available to us, we could create that shape, which felt really good. Sort of like a check-in with myself. Like, can we do it?
And it proves that we can make truncated cones, which it's a cone with the top cut off.
Yeah.
And it's a hard shape to do if you don't have the right calculations.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see that come to life in actuality and actually meet up to what CAD said it would.
Dude, and CAD wasn't always around, man, and there were people creating like crazy shapes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you hit on an important thing too it's for fabrication, for video, for anything. You have to kind of take a break from the day in, day out. For like me and Walker, it's usually like interviews and B-roll videos. For fabrication, it's railing. When you take the time, it may seem hard, especially if you're starting out as a business or if you're struggling, but it's important at least once a month, if not once a week, take a time to try something new.
Yeah.
Because again, that might not be our end all be all fire pit, but you learn new skills. We learned that, hey, let's scale this up too. Like, cause this could be very cool once it's bigger.
Yeah. Twice the size, height and width. That could be some good margins in that too.
You get a little bit of a mental health break. And, again, that discovery through doing new things never really fails. Even if the product or the video or whatever, was kind of like a miss, you're going to grow and learn something from it. And if you just do the same thing, you go in every day and you punch a button over and over and over, it's never going to change. You're never going to grow, and it's never going to be any kind of innovating or get to a place that keeps you recharged as well.
Can I just say, without going on a soapbox, my least favorite saying in the world is the if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your
Yeah,
life.
that's pretty hard.
It's so incorrect.
Yeah.
Until you get to do what you love. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, God.
I think if you love what you do, you're going to work harder.
Yes. But also, that can, for some people, can turn into them hating what they love.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because-
it's something I've been, danced near for
Yeah.
a long time. And I really hopeful it doesn't happen, and that's talking about these, we were saying the other day, one for you, one for them.
Mm-hmm. One for the meal, one for the real.
Yeah, there you go. The real meaning your
Instagram.
Yep.
well now. Yeah.
Do it for the reels.
But not to take this from you, but it's valuable and something I often overlook. Because I fell in love with this because I grew up with my dad had his little shop in the basement of the house, and I would just rummage through Dad's shop finding pieces of wood, staple guns, random tools, and just like staple shit together and like chop stuff off my RC cars and hot glue things together like aimlessly, as if sifting through a giant box of Lego pieces and saying, what does this go here, this there? Like, that's who I am. Like, I love that. I love just like screwing around in a shop full of supplies and tools and going, how can we, where's how do these pieces fit together? And that's what it felt like yesterday for several reasons. Not only that fire pit, but I also made a prototype for everyone knows the sort of cancer ribbon, or, the sort of the pink one for breast cancer awareness and yellow for, I guess, every other type of cancer. Sorry, I don't know how many color.
I learned this because we were working
ribbons there are.
Gold for childhood cancer awareness.
Yeah, and this is specifically for pediatric cancer. So our friend Jack Hamlin, friend of the shop, Hamlin Builders, he is a member of the Life Ring Foundation, which is a nonprofit that raises money for pediatric cancer, treatment and research and stuff. And he reached out to me because he and I have a pretty good working relationship now. In fact, all these railings that we've been talking about are for properties that he's either built or renovated. And he wants some bespoke metal ribbons made for awards that they're going to give out at an event in February that will be given to donors or members of the organization in recognition of their contributions and stuff. And so Spike and I we had some preliminary conversations, but it was like, you know what? We can design this to death. We can CAD it. We can 3D print some stuff. But like, I think I understand the shape pretty well. And I've got an anvil out here with a pointy horn, and I've got a forge that will make about 16 to 18 inches of steel red hot at one go. And I've got some leftover 2-inch flat bar. I just want to try it.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for a deposit. This is going to be largely a donation anyway for them. But I was just like, that sounds like something I just want to go do right now, actually. I'm going to stop what I'm doing, and I'm going to go screw around in the shop. And like, it came together super fast, and we filmed it. So look for that little mini. It might be out by the time they're listening to this.
Possibly.
Next week.
Should we
sometime soon?
Should we take out the part where we tell them what the awards are for, just in case?
Oh, yeah, we don't have permission yet.
Well, we didn't
No, we don't even know
say
actually
anything.
entirely what they're for.
Just curious.
I think we'll be all right. Nobody listens to this show anyway.
That's fair.
But it was fun because I was just like, I have the tools, I have the scrap. It's not going to take long. I'm going to learn pretty quickly whether this is going to work or not. And boy, was it fun.
Well, and stuff like that's fun to watch too, because I was watching you, I was filming it while you were doing it, and there's this point where you grabbed some metal tongs, and I was like, Tay's fumbling with this hot metal right now, but really you knew exactly what you were doing, and that's when you made it into the loop, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like watching a magic trick.
I was fumbling the whole time. Like, I knew where I wanted it to go. I just, I'm never very good at.
Well,
One thing I'm always bad at is, like, by the time the metal's red hot, I have not laid out all the tools I need to work with said red hot metal. So I'm always like scrambling with the wrong tools and the wrong gloves and the wrong, and it's, it's hot. It's like glass working. You got to go quick. And it's like, where's all my stuff?
Well, but it was part of that expertise that makes things look a little like effortless. Like, I'm watching you, and you have one tong over here, whatever. I'm like, what is he? And you're kind of fumbling with it, and but you were turning, I guess, the metal so that the ends of the ribbon would be flat while the top stayed.
That was the part I didn't know about. I knew that if I heated the middle section of like a 3-foot bar and then grabbed it by the ends and bent it down around the conical horn of the anvil. That's what the pointy part of an anvil is called, the horn. It's shaped in a way that is very similar. Like I thought of it immediately, similar to that loop of the ribbon is sort of cone shaped, almost like a truncated cone, if you will.
Callback.
Callback. And I knew I could make that shape with that, but what I didn't expect is that by the time you loop it over itself, the legs are not coplanar. They're still like they're almost perpendicular to each other. So I had to that's the part I didn't prepare for, and I didn't want to reheat this thing, so I was scrambling to find. And the two tongs I grabbed, I was able to just like poorly wrestle them flat.
Well, you could have fooled me,
And then hit it hard.
Yeah,
with a
it
hammer.
looked like a magic trick.
He
I
always,
was like,
he always end with the hammer.
of course.
Hold on, Jackson Walker's calling to see.
Good
Jax.
beginner welder. Yo, B.
Jackson, you are on the Lift Dark After Dark podcast. How you doing, buddy?
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm doing well. And this is so funny that I'm on the podcast because I bet you can guess what I'm calling you about.
Is Gresham Town?
Considering it's a working hour. I'm in Southeast.
Are you
I've
nearby
got
the
a
shop?
deal for you. Yeah, no, I've got a deal for you, man. Someone just came out of pawn.
Tell the people what you do for a living.
I am a pawnbroker, and I work at the Southeast Pawn Shop. And whenever good tools come out of pawn, I hit the boys up. So they can get the,
Let's go.
they can get there first.
Well, only because this show is not live, and I'm not worried about it. Tell us what you got down there at the Road Oak Pawn Shop.
We've got a Miller Welder Maxstar 161
Okay.
TIG stick. It's like one of the mini ones, brand new. Like everything is brand new in box with extra cups and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like 1,600 welding supply. We'll do $1,000.
Yeah. Can't swing that right now, but man, that's a good
right.
deal. Yeah, the
That's a good
Maxstar
deal.
161, that's just the DC only TIG welding.
Yeah.
Does it have a foot pedal?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Has a
Brand
foot
new.
pedal? Does it have pulse features?
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
I don't know.
Well, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
If somebody, how's it for sale? If it's someone pawn it or they
Someone pawned it, paid on it, and they just lost it.
Fell
Yeah.
off the back of an Isuzu.
fell off the back of an Isuzu. Well, I can't squeeze it in right now. I've got a $400 welder from China that does the exact same thing. That thing does pretty good.
Yeah, buy local.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, support small business. Not that Miller's a
And
small
I
business.
didn't even pay for it. Well, thanks for the hit up, man. Man, that would be a fun segment to add to every show.
Yeah, what's Jackson got on
What's Jackson
stock? Hey, you got a Nintendo GameCube over there?
That'd be sick.
No, but I've got some games.
Go
Like
on.
what?
I think we've got a copy of Super Sluggers as well for the Wii. Let me see.
Do you,
No,
we're
not
looking.
anymore.
We're looking for N64 games and board games.
I've got tons of N64. Like an unbelievable amount of N64.
Like
And a lot
Mario
of them are
Party?
like the Let me check. A lot of them are like are Japanese only releases.
Cool.
Bro,
Like everything is just Japanese.
give me Japanese
All right.
bumper balls.
We've got Star Fox. We have
Ooh.
Mario Party. We have Mario Party 2. Mario Story. Mortal Kombat Mythos. I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I.
Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
Four.
Classic.
Pretty sweet. And that one's that's like a Japanese only cartridge.
Anyways, it's fine.
And then I don't even know what those cartridges are for. And we have a bunch of Super Nintendo stuff as well.
Oh wow.
Dang.
So this is adjacent to metal. Jackson, what is silver going for right now?
Not a lot, very little.
Ooh,
There you go.
it's a good time to buy.
Good time to buy.
Yeah.
Buy and bury.
Hodl.
Do you guys have
Eli,
any,
you're on.
do you guys have any
Eli,
scrap
you're on
silver or
today's
bars?
podcast. They've got some silver questions. You're gonna be on the podcast.
Oh, we got another guest.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, who's this?
Eli.
Hey, Eli. It's Tay, Spike, Will, and Walker here. We've got you on our little show. How's it going at the pawn shop?
Very busy, man. You want to come down and get some work done for me?
Get some work done for you?
I hear
Yeah,
silver
yeah.
prices are down, so good time to buy.
It's not a bad time. I haven't checked and see what it is at right now. Silver currently is $30.30, so it's up a little bit.
Per
It was at like
pound?
$27
Ounce.
per ounce. Yeah, it's an ounce.
$30 an ounce.
Do you guys have any bars or scrap silver in?
I don't think I have any bars. I think I might have some like Morgans and Peace dollars.
All right.
Some are pure rounds sometimes, but a lot of times those are going to be like 90% silver.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to come see you.
Yeah.
Well,
Get-
you
get-
should.
invest in a different kind of metal.
I
than
would.
a regular mild
silver.
steel.
Silver is up probably like $7 or $8 over the last year and a half or two.
Okay.
So it's a great investment.
Well, you heard it here first,
Okay.
folks.
Silver is the new Bitcoin, which was the new silver.
Eli, if people are in Southeast Roanoke, where can they find you?
602 9th Street, right across the street from Hardee's and next to Carter Bank and Trust.
All right.
There you go.
Go get yourself a Japanese version of The Legend of Zelda and an ounce of silver.
Yeah, that is like my dream buy.
You never know what you're going to find.
Honestly, I love pawn shops. I always have. It reminds me of when my dad and I, when I was young, we would go around checking out yard sales. I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You get great deals, man, and people don't know what they have, so it's even better.
Yeah,
There you go.
and you
Find
get to
some
have
treasure.
fun. You guys make it fun. Jackson is.
Yeah.
It's hilarious seeing him.
I get to harass Jackson all day.
Yeah. Well, I did that all summer, so
It's your turn
It's
now.
your turn. Yeah.
He takes it well, though. He does.
Oh,
take
he
it well.
does. He's got broad shoulders, that's for sure. Well, tell him we
Hopefully
all
you're
love
6'10".
him and we miss him, and we'll have some shop beers soon.
Yeah, thanks for all the info.
Sounds good, brother.
Yeah.
All right, good talk
Thanks,
to you,
dude.
man.
You too, brother.
Later. Bye.
Later.
And this has been the airing of a new segment.
What's at
On
the
in
pawn
with the
shop?
boys.
Yeah.
That would be. We're going to do that every time. We have to. Also, I just love that you can call someone on Bluetooth and just patch them into the board. It's one of my favorite
Hell
things.
yeah.
That's great.
Like literally, we could have anyone in the world on this show right now if I knew their phone number.
Do you want to just give out your phone number so that way people can call in
Just
during the
get
show?
trade calls.
You want to dox yourself?
Let's just put it this way: it's not hard to find my phone number. So,
Okay, who here has the most famous person's phone number?
well, I've got Rutledge. I shouldn't. Well,
Hey,
Rutledge.
you're not going to say the number out loud.
Rutledge Wood from Top
I
Gear is
imagine
a
you might have
friend
somebody.
of mine. He's probably my most famous friend.
Depends on what you think of as famous.
I had whatever the dude's name, the Pretty Lights, the DJ.
Oh,
He was on my phone for a minute.
Cool.
I've got Aaron Dykstra.
Whoa.
That guy's pretty famous.
I've got some.
The guy fucks.
I've got some people in the board game industry in my phone. but-
Yeah,
Yeah.
big timers. I've got
Sort of.
America Top Hardwood Floors.
Whoa.
I feel like Will would just like randomly have like John Stamos or something.
100%.
I used to have John Leguizamo's phone
that's
number, Scott Bakula's. God,
I've always thought that name was insane. Too.
it is an insane name. Yeah, I had a bunch of hip hop people's numbers and musicians' numbers for a long time because we did a lot of work on that festival, and they would just give you their cell phone number a lot,
Yeah.
which is awesome and weird.
Is Ice Cube nice in person?
I've never met Ice Cube. The RZA is very nice.
Did he
in
give you the
person.
cold shoulder?
Nice.
Ooh.
No, he was having a good day.
Yeah.
Today was a good day for us.
Nice.
Gonna have a good day.
Nope.
I know it's wrong.
Tay, you should do what there was a Wu-Tang played at a festival we did one time, and whenever anybody asked to take a picture with him, he had a golden microphone he kept in his pocket.
Uh-huh.
So when they'd like, hey, where's it? Can I get a picture with you? He's like, yeah. He'd pull out the microphone.
Just
You
like
need-
a prop.
Yeah, you need to keep a welding torch on you,
Oh,
just so we see
jeez.
people. You're like,
yeah.
what's
oh,
up?
I'm the guy that does this.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm the guy that does this.
Solid gold one though.
Yeah.
Or silver.
Yeah.
Or silver. Yeah.
Silver and gold. Silver and gold.
Oh, yeah. Come on down to Roanoke Pawn. We've got Star Fox 64, Japanese, in kanji, Zelda, and guess what? A Miller Max Star 161 brand
New in
new
box.
with the foot pedal. Oh my
Only 1,000 sweet dollars.
So thanks for.
So glad we put sexy time.
I feel like we talked about two things that you wrote down.
Yeah, no,
we haven't played the intro music or anything to do with the actual show, but we have hit sexy time at
Wait,
least
the show
three
started?
times.
Yeah. Well, what else is on here? We got intro short, intro long. Oh, how about a word from our sponsors? Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the Lift Arc After Dark podcast is brought to you by none other than us here at Lift Arc Studios. We've got some cool merch that we came out with. We've got our grandpa rope hat available in dark green with a yellow rope and dark blue with a red rope. Very, very limited quantities of these available on our shop, so definitely check those out. We've got our LAS throwback shirt with the pink LAS on the front and a cool retro throwback LAS design on the back that says Custom Design and Fabrication, Lift Arc Studios. And we have our classic black pocket tee, Lift Arc Studios logo on the front. This guy just won't quit. These are Hanes Beefy. Nice heavy duty work shirts, and then the Lift Arc Studios logo on the back. So thank you for watching. Go check it out. We appreciate your support, and let's get back to the show. Beefy.
That's a big Grayson.
The pickles don't touch the onions.
And most of all, the pickles don't touch the tomatoes.
That's a big Grayson right there.
Oh, that's a big Grayson.
And we're back to the Lift Arc After Dark podcast. We're just having fun. It's been a good episode. I've had a lot of fun. I'm going to blast through 4 things on my list. I'm going to go through them real fast. You ready? This is the speed round. I have MR1 trials and tribulations. Boy, we certainly had some trials and tribulations.
Save that for the next episode.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I feel like that's a whole episode unto itself.
Yeah, and there's a lot that I could convey to you in real time about my experience and like order of operations and stuff on that. You can just take notes while
Great. Actually, could you write them down for me and I'll read along?
I'll tell you what, we'll make you a video about it.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yeah, so I got the Titan 25T, which is the CNC press brake. That's now fully assembled. I need to learn how to use that.
More to come.
These 2 machines are from Langmuir Systems.
Thank you, Langmuir.
Sister company of Shop Saber. I met all of them at PRI with Walker. They're awesome people.
Thank you, Shop Saber.
They really care about what they do. And we do have a full video of my first project, which was really freaking hard and intense and probably way more complicated than it should have been for my first project. But it was good because I learned a lot. That's coming out very soon. How to assemble the Titan 25T is coming out very soon. I have HTP aluminum MIG. We mentioned that earlier. We have the MIG 2800i from HTP USA Weld.
Thanks, HTP.
Made in Italy. It is a giant, I believe it's a
By my people.
280 volt.
You're from Jersey?
280 something.
New Jersey, Italy.
Jersey, Italy. Hey.
They cross through Ellis Island and immediately just get a Jersey
I'm
accent.
making the sauce. I'm fucking you.
Hey, get out of the way, bozo! Immediately.
That's exactly what every family reunion's like.
Yeah. You tell you Bogart in the sauce here.
It's just an episode of The Sopranos.
So we got that. We got a video coming out about that, which is the first big boy MIG welder that came from the HTP camp. So that thing's been rad. And then I wrote Riverdale update.
Riverdale.
It is cold in Riverdale.
It's very cold in Riverdale. Nothing makes it feel colder than it is, like looking at really monochromatic abandoned industrial buildings.
Also, you guys are familiar that there's a TV show called Riverdale, right?
I know there's a
it's about
rap
Archie,
song.
right?
Yes. So I grew up reading Archie comics, very just kind of like vanilla, milk toast comics.
I knew someone that collected those.
I have a shit. You
Maybe
might be
it's
thinking
you.
me. Yeah. Well, so
this guy.
I had a couple, and then a babysitter's boyfriend was like, "Oh, you like these?" And then brought over like 2 giant tubs of them.
Right.
Just to
so you're the reluctant collector.
Well, no, I was like stoked on it at the time. And now I feel like I have to do the same thing. Like I don't want to, some of them might be valuable, but
yeah. Well, I
'cause they're old.
got all of you and Will's Pokemon cards when we were kids, so I get it.
Do you still have them?
Dude, no, I had a freaking milk crate full of Pokemon cards.
So you don't have them?
I don't have them.
I'm done
No
talking about
rainbow.
it.
Wait,
Yeah.
No
you
Rainbow
lost
Charizard.
me and Will's.
Their childhood.
Yeah.
I didn't know this happened,
Well-
and now I'm upset.
Well, I didn't realize that 20 years later I'd be able to open them live on Twitch and make a bunch of money.
yeah.
Yeah, how do you think
So-
he knows Jackson over at the pawn shop?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, let me just say that Jackson's new truck, I paid for.
I've got a holographic Charizard if anybody's interested.
Look, Jackson Walker, if there's a holographic Blastoise with
Call spike, call spike, call spike.
with a W written on the back, that's mine.
We're going to find out. All right. What's your number one card? Mine's a holographic Mewtwo and a holographic Blastoise.
I actually liked the Mewtwo that came from the movie, that promo. I mean, the Mew, the ancient hieroglyphic.
Just mute him.
I just muted you guys. All right, fine, Jackson. Fine.
I guess he lost a sale.
Yeah, holographic Blastoise.
So that's a no on Pokemon cards. Yeah, that's all I had.
All right.
Cool. But sorry,
I'm done, so we're all done.
Riverdale. The show is the most absurd.
Back to nerdy things.
Well, the show is the most absurd thing ever. By the way,
Yeah,
It
that
coming
tracks.
coming from the most normal, basic comics. Oh, back to Jackson.
Jackson,
Yo,
do you guys have Pokemon cards?
no, we get them in all the time, but we have to send them over to Collector's Lair. You guys are even closer to collect.
Oh,
Or
the
next
place
to
on 9th
Food
Street
Line.
there, next to
Yeah,
the
they have-
next to
they
the
take-
next to the hemp shop.
No, it's over by Food Line. If you take a left, leaving Riverdale.
Yeah. Next to China Taste.
Oh, yeah, that place.
Do you have their
they-
number?
No, I don't. But
we know where
I
they
would head over there.
Yeah.
Has anybody walked in with a holographic Blastoise with a Sharpie W on the back?
No, but I will keep my eyes peeled.
Just like Tay.
Okay.
It'll be a tall guy
Yeah,
around
tall
6'9".
guy, 6'7".
Glasses.
He might have mentioned that they came from somebody named Will and Walker. They were in a milk crate, apparently.
If you can't read between the lines, I was given all of Walker's Pokemon cards 20 years ago, and I no longer have them, and he's a little salty about it.
Oh, you know that they're worth something?
Well,
Yeah, well, I've got a Bitcoin wallet with a quarter of a Bitcoin I can't get into, so don't give out that wallet as well.
I could buy a holographic Blastoise.
that sure could.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my problem, I think, is bigger than yours.
You Sharpied a W on the back of your cards?
Okay, well, Jax, we'll let you go. We got to have you on the podcast next week. I miss you.
All
I love
right,
you.
sounds good. I'll be there. I'll talk about cars this time.
Hell yeah.
Stolen
Awesome.
items. Right.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Bye. I love you.
Did he just...
Yeah, he said stolen.
Don't worry about it. That's what were you talking about? Riverdale?
Yeah, it's the most absurd show ever, and it's now interesting that we are at a place that's tied in with this very bizarre thing.
Is this your way of asking us to call you Archie?
No.
Can I call you Archie?
Well, then you're Betty.
Is Betty hot? Is she charming?
Okay, here's
She's
the
one of the
trailer.
love interests.
It's on Netflix. Riverdale.
Yeah, so they
get
introduce
delisted.
night demon worshipping cults, time travel.
Hey, how come...
Will this get us demonetized?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Let me just
Yeah.
paint the picture. The comics about normal high schoolers. The show about raging sex addicts that travel back in time to fight demons and
I
vampires.
don't know what your high school experience was like, but that's
To
pretty
fight-
spot on for mine.
Yeah.
Jughead dies like 4 or 5 times and gets brought back to life.
Why are you doing this to me?
You're gonna watch it?
Now?
Spoiler,
Yeah.
spoiler,
Now I know
spoiler.
there's sex demons.
No.
Time traveling sex demons in the show.
Yeah, dude, I'm in. Do I have to use an incognito window to watch this?
Probably, yeah. Not to be watched around family members.
Wait, is this on Netflix or something else you need a VPN for?
Yeah.
It's blocked in the state of Virginia now.
Yeah. It's
Riverdale
got-
did set off a big weird string of Archie stuff. This is my only Archie knowledge because a little while back there was an Archie versus Predator comic.
Whoa, AVP.
MVP, baby.
And, like 2 worlds that, again I never thought would
Yeah.
high five, but there we are.
Yeah. Well, speaking of high five, I think we did it. We have a 2:00 meeting, and in 10 minutes, And this was a really fun episode, boys.
All right, shall we end it like we end our meetings?
This is not how we end our meetings.
No, but cool.
Yeah, cool. So, cool. Where's the outro?
Sexy time.
Cool.
That's not.
There we go. Get it, y'all.
Ten crew real sexy, rap and tail, setting drip cost free. Cutting out the spots, fly, moving fast in the magnet van. Man, fun and freak, we feel the heat. Catch the beat and we repeat. Get real, get loud. You like it, baby.